And we are fortunate to have third lecture by Dr. Rajagopal Vellamur, former director ICR CPCRI Kasargod, on the health and nutritional benefits of coconut. So in this, our efforts, Indian Society of Agricultural Engineers at New Delhi, they are partner, they are collaborating with us. So that is why we get undisturbed Zoom connectivity for our presentations. With this, I take this opportunity to introduce you to our speaker today, Dr. Vellamur Rajagopal. Dr. Rajagopal has retired as Director CPCRI Kerala, and his specialization is on stress physiology, drought screening, identification, management. He has published almost 150 papers in national and international journals. He has written 8 books and 11 book chapters. He has handled many national and international projects on cropping systems, poverty elevation, water management, extension activity in the villages of ICR. He has been awarded Distinguished Scientist R.D. Asana Gold Medal. During his tenure, CPCRI received Sardar Patel Best Institute Award, also the Best KVK Award. Then he received R.L. Narasimha Swamy Best Poster Award, Best Research Paper in Indian Horticulture Congress, Commendation Certificate from IPGRI FAO, and Lifetime Achievement Award of SVU. He has many honors to his credit. He is Fellow of Indian Society for Plantation Crops. He is Fellow of Indian Society for Coastal Agriculture Research. President of Indian Society for Plantation Crops. He was Editor Journal of Plantation Crops. He was member Board of Studies, Mangalore University, Calcutta University, Kunnur University, and he was governing body member in the Coconut Development Board. He was chairman of many RACs and member of many RACs of ICR. He was a referee for many scientific journals. After his retirement, he has founded the society, the Hunger Elimination and You Movement, HAME, and he is a founder president of Society for Hunger Elimination. So he is very good in social work, working for the society, giving it now to the society, and motivating all others like us also to come into that kind of mode, that giving to the society, and society which has given us lots. He was consultant for natural farming, local advisory member of Regional Science Center, member of India Group International in USA, and he is member of India Development Coalition of America. I request all of you to please mute. Kailash Nathanji, I think you need to mute. Then fortunately we have today Dr. Rajagopal is from CPCRI Kasargod. He was a former director, and we got 2 former scientists who started their career from CPCRI as a ARS scientist, as a chair and co-chair for this session. Our chairman for today is Dr. Bengali Babu. He started his career in 1976 as scientist at CPCRI Kasargod and retired as National Director of World Bank funded National Agriculture Innovation Project with ICR. During the intervening period, he held several research management positions as Director, Project Coordinator, Network Coordinator, Head of Division, besides scientific positions at all levels. He handled several multidisciplinary projects centered around post-harvest technology in 23 crops and commodities, funded from different ministries of government and also from Food and Agriculture Organization of United Nations. He served in 5 states of India, especially Kerala, UP, Punjab, Jharkhand, and Delhi, through 3 divisions of ICR. He was in engineering division, he was in crop science division, and he was also in horticultural division. Fellow of several professional societies and academy, he received Gold Medal of Indian Society of Agriculture Engineers and Eminent Agricultural Engineer Award of Institution of Engineers, besides many other recognitions. Presently, Dr. Bengali Babu is associated with a couple of national level committees related to higher education in agriculture, besides being consultant to NABARD and advisor to Chhattisgarh Minor Forest Produce Federation. He is also president of Agri Innovation Foundation, an NGO he has established. In 2019, he was awarded Outstanding Alumnus Award of GB Pant University of Agriculture and Technology, from where he got his bachelor's degree in engineering. For his exemplary contribution in the nation building and bringing many laurels to the university, the University of GB Pant University of Agriculture recognized him with that award. Now we have our what you call deputy chairman or co-chairman, Dr. Jaswant Singh. Dr. Jaswant Singh also started his career as a scientist from CPCRI Kasargod in the same batch of 1976. He did his BTech in Ag Engineering from Pantanagar, and MTech in Agricultural Engineering from IIT Kharagpur, and PhD in Engineering from GB Pant University of Agriculture and Technology again. As a ARS scientist, he initiated his career from CPCRI Kasargod, then went to Central Institute of Ag Engineering, became project coordinator of process engineering for All India Coordinator Project on processing, handling and storage of jaggery and khansari. Then he was selected as head Department of Agriculture Engineering at Indian Institute of Sugarcane Research, Lucknow. Dr. Singh has developed various processes, equipment, machineries for different crops, beginning with plantation crop, that is coconut dehusker, one which is there at CPCRI Kasargod, first version, you can see that. Then he developed machinery for oil seeds and mechanization of sugarcane and its products, juice and jaggery. He established Lucknow SHU hub at IISR, published about 200 research papers in national and international journals, 22 bulletins and 7 books. He is member of various professional societies and held important positions like President of Engineering Sciences, section of Indian Science Congress Association in 2001. He was Vice President of Indian Society of Agriculture Engineers, New Delhi. He was member of Royal Association for Science-Led Social Cultural Advancement, New Delhi. He was Technical Director of ISAE, Associate Editor, ISAE, and the Chairman of Lucknow chapter now. He is Fellow of Institution of Engineers. He is Fellow of ISAE. He is a Chartered Engineer of Institution of Engineers. He is Fellow of Sugar Technology Association of India. He is Fellow of International Society for Noni. He has been recipient of many awards from these societies. Dr. Singh is member of the many peer review teams of ICR for many universities accreditation, and he is member and co-convener of the Board of Studies at Abdul Kalam Technical University, Lucknow. With this, I welcome the speaker, Dr. Rajagopal, the chairman of the session, Dr. Bengali Babu, and the co-chairman of the session, Dr. Jaswant Singh, and all the participants who have joined, and also those who will be joining. And I request now the chairman and co-chairman to conduct the session and invite the speaker for presentation of his talk on health and nutritional benefits of coconut, which is very relevant for today because coconut has got a role to play in stopping or controlling the pandemic of coronavirus. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Patil, for giving introduction of the speaker and giving a background of the activities which your group is undertaking, and wonderful activities. I also add my words of welcome together with you to everyone who are participating in this, and good evening to all of them. Co-chair, Dr. Jaswant Singh, my classmate. During graduation at Pantnagar, my roommate, ARS first batch mate, CPCRI mate, and now also the sector mate. So all mates right from the beginning, from education till retirement and post-retirement, that is, I think, a better introduction which I can give about Dr. Jaswant Singh, Dr. Patil, who is moderator for this session, and ex-director CFIT, and also our colleague at CPCRI, a very good friend of mine, Dr. Rajagopal, today's speaker and director CPCRI. I see some very important persons whom I know, Dr. Mayande, Dr. R.R. Lal, Dr. Hamid Khan, Dr. Bhalla, and some of them are not now seen on the screen. What a wonderful coincidence that all four had association with CPCRI, and for this rare opportunity, I thank Dr. Patil. I consider it as a rare moment that CPCRI, Kasaragod, old colleagues meeting all at the same platform. Really, I am thankful to Dr. Patil for this kind of. Coming to the subject, well, all of us are aware the body cannot perform any of its functions, without the nutrients, like metabolic, hormonal, mental, physical, or chemical, without specific nutrients. That is the importance. And the nutrients we get from food. Food is largely responsible for our health. That is why we focus on health through foods. Health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. So what we have a very eminent speaker on so very important topic, and he's talking on the health and nutritional benefits of coconut. I'm really very happy to be here, really listening to the eminent speaker on such an important topic. And rest, before I request him, if the co-chair has anything to say, before I request the speaker to make his presentation. He is not seen. नहीं, आपका अनम्यूट नहीं है डॉक्टर पाटिल. Okay, so now I can request Dr. Rajgopal.
डॉक्टर एक मिनट सर, मैं उन्हें अनम्यूट करवाता हूँ. डॉक्टर जसवंत सिंह अनम्यूट करिए, अनम्यूट.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, Chairman, sir, respected seniors, teachers, colleagues, and friends, it's very happy to see all the old friends after so many years of working at CPCRI Kasaragod. I started my career by joining at CPCRI Kasaragod, as already been told. There you see the topic is so relevant and it will always remain relevant. So what is important is the raw material, and raw material in this case is coconut. We started working right in the beginning on coconut, surveyed, collected samples, we try to dehusk it, we try to resell it, we try to take out the kernel, then split it, then develop dryers of different kind, be it solar copra dryer or mechanical copra dryer or electromechanical copra dryer or husk-fired electrical copra dryer, and so on and so forth. Also, I had done some experiment to cut short the time of producing kernel, as it is whole kernel. Taking whole kernel, ladies while working in kitchen, they used to put coconut on the roof of the kitchen for long period of time. So I had given wet heat treatment using what is that? Wet heat, and I am very glad to say that it was very nice to get the result what we had desired to get. Friends, then in the meantime, when I was asked by Patil Sahab to take care of this co-chairmanship, I thought to put something before Dr. Rajagopal, who had been director of CPCRI Kasaragod. Sir, as already has been told by Dr. Bangali Babu about the importance of health and the nutritional benefits. I will not try to repeat it, but I will certainly like to tell you one thing, that through you I request plantation crops breeders to develop, because we have different very diverse agroclimatic conditions, right from arid to heavy rainfall. Most of the areas have well distributed rainfall, sunshine hours, temperature, and conducive to growth of wide range of tropical, subtropical, and temperate annual and perennial food crops. I wish to put an indent before you and through you to the plantation crop community, seniors and all those who might be listening, they are hearing, to come out with certain varieties which are suitable for us, for example, for North Indians. I will tell you, when I came from CPCRI after transfer on 23rd February 1979, I tried to procure coconut. It was very difficult task to get. Even today, if I want to take tender coconut, you will get not less than 65 rupees each piece. It is not more than half a kg or 250 or something like ml of water. So my intent to you would be that kindly put it on your this thing, and this is all. Then I will mention that the the kind of study that I had conducted, we produced the copra. Uh,
Just one thing, can I
just I
intervene?
agree. 2 minutes more, 2 minutes more. Then I will stop it. The copra that we produced contained calories, protein, carbs, carbohydrates, fiber, fat, manganese, copper, selenium. It is very important. So why not? Why not? Majority of humans have distinctive nutritional requirements to serve there. To meet the requirements, their food habits are also changing. Kindly look into the matter and proceed for the benefit of the larger number of the human being. Thank you all very much. I wish best of luck to Dr. Rajagopal and request you to continue chairman job. Proceed. Thank you
Thank
for
you,
giving me
doctor.
this opportunity.
Now I request the eminent speaker, Dr. Rajgopal, to speak on the topic coconut, the health and the nutritional benefits. Dr. Rajgopal, please.
Okay. Good evening to all of you, and good morning here from USA to those who are joining from USA. I'm very
Is
much
not
excited.
screen share करिए थोड़ा सा. Screen is not shared.
Are you able to hear, please?
I'm able to hear, but I'm just requesting to share your screen. I'm not able to view your screen.
Only one screen is there, which is not moving ahead.
Yeah.
At the outset, I would like to thank Dr. Patil and the Indian Society for Agricultural Engineers for giving me this opportunity to share our experiences on coconut health and nutrition benefits. I'm very glad to see the old colleagues, Dr. Jaswant Singh, Dr. Bengali Babu, Dr. Patil, Dr. Kaur, and others from CPCRI. It is like a CPCRI program. And I am very proud to say that the foundation laid down by these people in CPCRI for post-harvest technology as engineers is something to be admired. And they have developed a lot of technologies, a lot of gadgets, machineries for the benefit of the farmers. And generally, when we have a relay race, it is not only those who first start, but even the others who take up the baton should be very successful. I'm very proud to say that the post-harvest technology in CPCRI has been doing wonderful work due to the foundation, strong foundation laid by these experts, Bengali Babu, Jaswant Singh, Dr. Patel, Dr. Jacob Agnamulai. And then the baton was passed on to Dr. Madhavan, Vidam Singh, Bosco, Matthew, and so many others. And the last few years, we have developed many technologies. I am very proud to say that I was the head of the division for post-harvest technology also for over a decade. And many technologies have been developed. Some of them are patented, and some of the farmers got a lot of benefits from the coconut products, value addition, and then income generation technologies. With this brief introduction about my CPCRA and the old colleagues, I would like to just say very few words about introducing the crop itself, because you have introduced me and we have introduced ourselves. Now, today's hero is our coconut crop. Of course, many of you are aware of it. It's a tree of life. It is claimed as tree of life, and it lives for over 80 to 90 years. No branches. Leaves remain for over 3 years. Both flowers and fruits are seen at the same time. Starts yielding from 10 to 12 years and goes up to 70 to 80 years. And harvested once in 45 days, 40 to 45 days. And the income is almost like monthly income for the farmers. And all parts of the coconut are useful. There is nothing like a wastage. We have developed a technology like a wealth from waste, like vermicomposting and so many other technologies. And it's a good company. It's a good crop, accommodating many intercrops like banana, pepper, vegetables, fruits, and other things. And over 90 countries grow this crop, and among 15, India is among the first 15 countries, and the first within third rank for production and productivity and all that. And we are having a lot of calls, wars, and hybrids, and CPCRI is one of the centers, World Coconut Germplasm Center, with over 400 germ time. Now I would like to present my topic, very important topic of interest to everyone throughout the world. And myself and my old colleague, Dr. S.R. Prabhu, we happened to review this topic for the last, taking over 50 to 60 years of world literature from all parts of the world, how coconut health has. Now I will go for the presentation. And the highlights of the presentation here I have given very clearly. Introduction and various edible parts of coconut as source of nutrient-rich food, processed food products, health benefits, and most importantly, Ayurvedic homemade medicines coming from Kerala, of course, as all of you are aware, the Center for Ayurvedic Medicine, and concluding remarks. I thought it is appropriate to start with ancient wisdom and food as medicine. And as all of you are aware, Maharshi Charaka, born in 300 BC, he already said that food as one of the three pillars of health. Naturally, we are going to see how coconut, which stands very tall, serves as the pillar for our health. And another important quotation is food according to the science of modern science, modern medicine. Again, it is appropriate to start the lecture with the quotation from Hippocrates, who said that let food be thy medicine and not medicine by thy food. He was born, of course, a Greek physician born in 460 BC. And it can be considered as the father of the modern nutraceutical science. Now, tree of life, health, and prosperity. And we are very proud to work on this crop. Dr. Khan is there and so many others who are here. And maybe some people have joined from CPCRI also today. And coconut is a superfood. On dry weight basis, coconut has got nearly 70% of oil. Meat is good as a staple food, processed food, functional food and nutraceuticals and source of my phytochemicals, preventive and curative efficacy, disease conditions. And for the benefit of those who are watching from the international scenario also. We thought that we will give the proper references here itself, although it may be difficult for you to see. Later on, I can interact with you if anybody is interested in any of these topics. So the coconut palm is also essential for sustaining life in many parts of the world. And our ancient wisdom also states that coconut oil as health oil, it was recognized in Ayurvedic medicine almost 4,000 years ago. So we have to be very proud of this medicine, that is a coconut, serving the entire world, even from 4,000 years ago. Modern research has now found common lines between mother's milk and coconut oil. Of course, as many of you are aware of it, that our people consider, many of the experts like Hegde and so many others and very unique, they consider that mother's milk is equivalent to, is like coconut oil with many benefits, many immunizing benefits. The medium chain fatty acids or monoglycerides found primarily in coconut oil have miraculous healing power, which act as a natural antibiotic and also help modulate immunity. So I'm going to touch some of these things in the present context of COVID-19. I will start all the 12 products right from coconut water. You can see that so many products are there and how post-harvest technology developed technologies for benefit of the general public. I think somebody has to unmute. And net water from 6 to 7 month old, high potassium, low sodium, 250 ml of water per net. Of course,
गर्चा जी अनम्यूट करिए, म्यूट करिए, म्यूट. गर्चा म्यूट प्लीज.
ये जाते हैं
खन्ना जी इसको सबको म्यूट कर दीजिए एक्सेप्ट वन.
Even up to 300 to 400 ml of water is obtained from some of the nuts. And as you know, it is also gaining popularity as sport beverage and natural functional drink. You might be remembering that once upon a time, Coconut Development Board has asked PT Usha to be the ambassador for promoting coconut products. And it is used as a oral hydration fluid for rehydration therapy and presence of antimicrobial properties useful in intestinal and urinary disturbance. Now we have given in our publication also in this presentation very briefly about the nutritional benefits, nutritive profile, and also health benefits. Here you can see, of course, I need not read each and every one of them. You can see the highlights of some of these things. Very high potassium to the extent of 600 mg, magnesium, calcium. Particularly, you have to see the micronutrients like iron, zinc, and other things. And these are all the references to say how beautifully they have analyzed coconut water. Then coconut meat, what we call as kernel meat or kernel in botanical terms, we call it as kernel. The mature coconut is grated and extensively used in many staple foods as we have been doing in our home. And it contains 7% protein and 70% oil on dry weight basis. And also it's a source of functional proteins with antioxidant activities. And of course, as you all are aware, when you are at home and in the kitchen, when your mother or wife is making the recipes, you will be tempted to take the coconut and bite it. So it's very healthy, it's very healthy. And nutrition profile is given here again. The attention is drawn to the lauric acid, 35 grams, and potassium and so many other things. Again, I want you to concentrate on some of the micronutrients. Why I'm mentioning is at the end, I will tell you the importance of these zinc and vitamin C and iron and other things. And health benefits of this mature coconut: better cardiovascular health, lower cholesterol levels, reduction of parasites and other pathogens, reduction of stroke and heart disease. It is something like multivitamin tablets. You see, there are so many things that has got benefit through these products. Of course, we have given the appropriate references. I am very happy to tell you that while reviewing this, we have done not only from 1950 to 60, But even up to 2020, my colleague Dr. Prabhu has been accessing the data on daily basis, and we have added some of the references of 2020 also. And now we come to the health benefits of mature coconut, coconut oil extracted from the mature coconuts, used extensively as cooking oil in many South Indian, South Asian countries and Kerala and Tamil Nadu particularly. And it is rich in medium chain fatty acids, MCFA, such as lauric acid with medicinal qualities, about which I am going to give you a very detailed description. And the health benefits of coconut oil, as many of you are aware: improvement of blood cholesterol levels, memory, metabolism, burning of calories and killing of pathogens, reduction of appetite to help weight loss. For weight loss, some of the people in many of the countries, including Philippines, even in India, they take coconut oil 2 or 3 spoons per day in the mornings for weight loss. Reduction of belly fat, healing and protection of teeth, skin, and hair. You can see the multiple benefits of coconut oil. Then virgin coconut oil, of course, it's very popular now throughout the world. In USA, we go and buy almost once in a month. Virgin coconut oil is extracted from the milk of the coconut using cold process. Of course, some of these things were also developed by our colleagues who are here participating in the program. More health benefits, contains antioxidants as vitamin E, provitamin, polyphenols, phytosterols. And the most important point of virgin coconut oil is they have antibacterial, antiviral, and antifungal properties. That is going to help us in understanding about even COVID. I will come to that. And also it will help to support the immune system. And this again benefits, whether there is a benefit of coconut oil in the present context of COVID, I shall try to touch with the latest publications. And virgin coconut oil also is shown to reduce the progression of Alzheimer's disease. And there's a very good reference of 2009 on this aspect, functional food. Here I would like to mention, somebody has to mute. I just would like to mention very important point here as far as coconut oil is concerned. It was there was a sort of difference of opinion about coconut oil, and recent studies have questioned the connection between saturated fatty acids and heart disease, because for some time the coconut oil was considered as bad for health. We have such a group, of course, soybean lobby, that's what they claim. They said that saturated fat or saturated, because coconut is rich in saturated fats, it is bad for health. A lot of work has been done both in India and USA and other countries. And I shall try to mention some more important points here for the benefit of our viewers here. To classify foods as simply saturated, polysaturated, or monosaturated fat is to ignore the many other potential nutrients and benefits. This is what we are trying to understand or explain here. And here I have to mention that some of the leading nutritionists like Mary Enick from the Maryland University and so many others have shown very clearly how beneficial coconut is because of the medium chain fatty acids. And coconut is classified as a saturated fat. Just because it is called a saturated fat, many people, including some of the nutritionists, some of the biochemists, they said it's bad for health without looking into the other aspects of it. Different saturated fats, medium chain or long chain or metabolically, and thus have different health effects. So you cannot overall say that it is bad. You have to consider that it is a medium chain fatty acid which is beneficial. The medium chain fatty acids predominate in coconut and have been associated with several health benefits, like improvements in cognitive function and a more favorable situations compared to longer chain fatty acids. So what is more important here is to see that medium chain fatty acid MCFA as the most potential material for our health, overall health, including during the COVID situation, which I shall try to touch. And here is the latest publication, 2020, that's what I was telling. Coconuts and health, different chain lengths of saturated fats require different considerations. So we cannot just classify that it is because of saturated fat, it is bad for health. This point I thought I should mention because there is some sort of myth or reality if you really see as far as coconut oil is concerned. And coconut butter is pureed whole coconut flesh used as a delicious creamy spread on cakes and other delicacies. And nutritional value, again here you can see the details, and health benefits are same as matured coconut, that is reduction in levels of cholesterol. Now I'll take you to coconut milk. It is something like a coconut feast today. A delicious milky product prepared by grinding coconut meat with water and allowing the heavy solids to settle. And it is used in the preparation of beverages and curries. Of course, in many of the houses now in India and also in US and other countries, it has become very popular. Coconut milk is available in almost all the supermarkets in USA, and it is now flooded with all these products. And nutrition profiles, again, here you can see. In each one of them, we try to give first the calories and then the nutrition profile to highlight that how important some of these constituents are. And health benefits of coconut milk ensures higher metabolic rate, enhances weight loss, burns more calories. That is why some people make use of coconut oil or coconut milk to control their weight. Then coconut cream. This is another one which is very highly sold in the markets. The cream is a thick one form of coconut milk, has an important place, particularly in countries like Thailand, India, Indonesia, and many Polynesian cuisines. Many of the people in the kitchen, in the restaurants and other things, they go for coconut cream. And I found that in USA, some of them are very crazy to buy coconut cream, even to use with their bread and butter as butter. Nutrition profiles again here is given here, and so many calories and protein and iron, particularly iron and other things, lauric acid. And some of the medical reports have shown it has the benefits as anti-ulcer. Coconut flour pancakes, you can see here, very delicious one arranged here. A delicious byproduct of coconut oil and coconut milk. The pulp is dried and ground into flour, and it is very easily available in many of the markets. And nutrition profile again is 120 calories. And fiber, it is rich in fiber. That is another important point here. And lauric acid, protein, sodium, and other aspects. So it is extensively used in our cuisines. Desiccated coconut, of course, all of us are aware of it, and it is available in the markets, particularly in USA and all that. They sell it as desiccated coconut, frozen coconut, made by drying the meat of mature coconuts in the form of flakes. And it is used extensively in baking and cooking. Of course, this is popular in the kitchens of most of the houses in India, of course, particularly in South India. Nutrition profile again is high in calories, 185, protein, lauric acid, potassium, 152 milligrams. Again, here you can see zinc, iron, vitamin C. So all these things are rich in this. Of course, all these products have got high nutritional value. And if you come to the health benefits of this dry coconut, that is dry coconut powder, desiccated coconut, it lowers the risk of colon cancer. And all these things have got the references. I've got references, a lot of references from the medical and nutritional reports, and lowers the blood cholesterol level. Now I come to another important point of collecting sap from immature inflorescence. I recollect that in 1980s, in early 1980s, when I was in CPCRI Kaingalam, For the first time, I had the opportunity to work on this aspect of collecting the sap, what we call it as coconut sap, from the bunches. You can see here, it is a very special program. We cannot do it. Only a climber can do it. A experienced climber alone can do it. He knows which is the right inflorescence, how to cut it, how to make a cut, and then collect it. So sap collected from immature inflorescence, dark blonde color and all that. So in 1980 to 85, when we were working in root wilt disease on phytoplasma diseases, I happened to work on this and do a lot of work on the biochemical analysis of this. And this has become now very important component for coconut, health aspects. The Nira is a delicious, natural, non-alcoholic beverage and high in nutritional value. And it's also a source of coconut sugar. Subsequently, my colleagues in Kasaragod now, Dr. Hebber and other group from physiology and post-harvest technology, they have been doing a lot of work on this. A lot of work has been done. But also I must give the credit to the Kerala Agriculture University, where they also have done a lot of work on coconut sap. The health benefits are very most important is low glycemic index sweetener as compared to sugarcane. It's only 35 glycemic index for coconut as against 70 glycemic count for sugarcane. So this is one of the important components that I thought I should mention here for the benefit of the people here. And coconut sugar is produced by boiling and dehydrating the inflorescence sap, the sap which just now I was mentioning. And the nutritional profile is given here with zinc, manganese, iron, and all that. As I already mentioned, health benefits, low glycemic index sweetener. And now this has become popular in some of the markets and people have started using it extensively. And you might be knowing that few years back in 2014 or 13 or 14, United Nations, WHO also has claimed that the coconut sugar is very good as a sweetener for all our regular users. Then coconut milk obtained from, sorry. Coconut yogurt, it is obtained from coconut milk through fermentation and gaining popularity as a probiotic, non-dairy delicacy. Somehow when we were looking into the literature, we found that Japanese took a lot of interest in this work. And of course, the publication is given here, the reference is given here from Japan, optimization of ingredient and processing levels of the production of coconut yogurt using response surface methodology. It's a very interesting topic, very interesting publication that we have seen. And gaining popularity as a probiotic because that is an important nutritional aspect. And the profiles are given here. Magnesium high as 80 mg and iron 0.75 mg and rich in vitamin. And health benefits are weight control. This is one of the important things like all other components. It is being used for controlling weight. That is perhaps why the reason why many of the Japanese look very slim and very thin. And coconut oil prevention and treatment of cancer. And important references are given here on this topic on the right side of this slide here. Coconut oil triggers anti-proliferative and pro-apoptotic effects. Uric acid, which is rich in coconut oil, was shown to elicit inhibitory effects in colon cancer cells. But also coconut oil reduces the symptoms related to side effects of chemotherapy. So that is, this topic is being taken up.
Coconut oil in prevention and treatment of cancer. Not only prevention, but treatment.
Yeah, please. Yeah, let me complete. So this is one of the areas that is being looked into by the medical professionals, the medical doctors and others who are working on cancer. Of course, there are some doubts about this, but there are also positive indications about the use of coconut in this area. And it improves cholesterol levels, increases the HDL, because this I am giving again about coconut in managing the diabetes and other issues, other health problems. People who consumed a mixture of dried coconut with oil showed reduction in serum, total and HDL. This work was done long back in Kerala University. Of course, there are also reports from other countries like Philippines, where women had healthier blood lipid profiles with consumption of coconut than those who did not. Of course, there are a lot of examples coming from different countries like Japan also, where it increases in metabolism. And then from Switzerland, we found one important topic, important paper, publication. Consumption of 15 to 30 milligrams of MCFA, medium chain fatty acid, coconut per day, increased 24-hour energy expenditure. So these are all very good indications of the benefits of coconut. And also a publication from Italy has shown that consumption of coconut increased calorie burning. And another interesting paper has appeared from France. Men who consumed MCFA sauce at breakfast conserve significantly fewer calories at lunch. So these are all the positive indications of how coconut is benefit for our health. And now we will come to the Alzheimer's disease. Number of publications have come up on this, which is given here. It's a rich source of medium chain fatty, chain glycerides, which I have already mentioned, that are easily metabolized and give rise to ketones. It contains antioxidants such as vitamin E and polyphenol compound. It has been documented that the oil possesses significant pharmacological activities against neurodegenerative disorders like Alzheimer's disease and multiple sclerosis. And some of these publications have come from, say, even in 2020, we have given the last one in the slide, you can see, beneficial effects of coconut oil in treatment of Parkinson's disease. It's a very important one. Some of the nutritionists and medical experts have published some of these papers, and very interesting. Even the Indian publication, one of the Chatterjee and others, we have seen the potential of coconut. Now comes the important point of how it is the disease, the antimicrobial and other properties of coconut. The disease-fighting monolaurin, the monoglyceride of lauric acid, rich in coconut oil, possesses antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral, and antiprotozoal properties. It is something like overall medicine for many of these issues, diseases. The potential of coconut oil and its derivatives as effective and safe antiviral agents against COVID-19, reported by scientists in Philippines in January 2020 itself, when COVID was just in its initial stages. There is a very good publication by Dairit and others from Philippines on this topic. Of course, now many papers have started appearing on this. I have given here, even 2021, Joshi and others have started working on this. Verma and others, Schilling et al. So there is a good scope for considering coconut in the present context of COVID-19. It helps to fight oral infections. Coconut oil improves skin health, reduces skin infections, and improves hair growth. Coconut oil helps in fighting insect bites, lice, and of course, as all of you know how it is being used, as coconut oil is being used in the health industry. Many of the companies have come out with coconut oil parachute and other things which are being sold in great, this one in the markets. And coconut oil in COVID-19 is a very challenging task, and some of the papers we have come across and we have indicated here, the latest ones in the present context of COVID-19, how can we consider that coconut is how far it is going to be helpful for us? Lauric acid and monolaurin present in coconut oil are well known to have antiviral activities, which I have just now mentioned. Preliminary promising results with virgin coconut oil as a potential adjuvant therapy in COVID-19 patients. Excuse me. Virgin coconut oil by itself can destroy the virus, but it also has a key mechanism in upregulating the immune response against COVID-19. And this is being looked into very carefully by some of the experts, both in the medical profession and also in the Ayurvedic fields, Ayurvedic experts. VCV also lowers coronavirus load by 60 to 90% for mild cases. And possibility of developing a medium chain fatty acid based nasal spray as a prophylactic or therapeutic agent is being looked into. And in one of our meetings, Dr. Patil was mentioning on World Health Day when I gave a lecture on some of these aspects. He very clearly mentioned that one of his colleagues or maybe his relations, he was using VCO as a nasal drop and he had no problem of corona attack, while in his family, others were, of course, he is going to explain further, maybe it will be very interesting to know. So there is a potential for coconut and coconut products to be considered for COVID-19. When I sent one of the publications, of course, it was not published. Some of these things were considered, and Dr. P. Ratnam, he has taken up some of these aspects with the Ayush in New Delhi. That's what I heard. Now I will come to some of the important aspects of Ayurvedic medicines, which is very popular in India. Of course, as all of you are aware of the Ayurvedic medicines. The ripe but unopened inflorescence effective in dysentery and other things, hemophilia. Inflorescence, rice flour, jaggery cooked in coconut oil is an effective rejuvenating tonic for women after childbirth. So this is very common in Kerala for women to get treated like this. A decoction of tender inflorescence mixed with honey is effective against diarrhea. The ripe kernel increases body strength and purifies urinary diseases. Tendernut water can improve semen output and prevent urinary problems. Coconut water is used to treat sunstroke patients. That is why in summer, most of us have the habit of taking a lot of coconut water. They say that it has the potential to rehydrate and all. Coconut water is used as a beauty aid and to prevent early appearance of wrinkles. And this is a very important one in the beauty parlors. And of course, some of you might have seen that coconut water also is used as a intravenous injection during, there is an old report to show that coconut water is used during World War II and also even in Vietnam War, when people were running short of intravenous liquids, they use coconut water. That is one of the very good references we have in our review. And we are coming to the last one or two slides about the profitable coconut production. Most of the coconut production in India is from small and medium holdings. Of course, some of them are important points that we wanted to consider from the point of view of industries and also from the point of view of agricultural institutes and the collaboration between the institutes and also the industries. And one of the important things that we noted was Global Health Coconut Products Sri Lanka has come out with the system arrangements with farmers to produce quality products and value-added products. Of course, this is what has to be improved in India, of course. Perhaps that is being done now, but there is a lot of potential for us to market some of our products in international markets. When we go to some of the markets in USA and all that, I find most of the products, coconut products, 60 to 70 products are from Thailand or some from Sri Lanka and all. Of course, some of them are from India, but far less as compared to others. Now the last but penultimate one. Now the humanity has started appreciating the value and benefits of coconut as a superfood and in disease management. It is called a superfood. One of the authors from New York, Stephanie Petagre, she has published a book on that, very beautiful book that contains all the details. Active research collaboration between academic and industrial partners, that is what I was mentioning a few minutes back, needed for faster development of products for global use. Pharmaceutical companies need to be attracted to experiment on coconut products for managing serious diseases, validate the known benefits, and release new medicines based on coconut, just like I was mentioning about even the nasal drop in the form of nasal drops. The ongoing global interest in coconut will make coconut cultivation economical and make available coconut products globally very competitive. Now, this is all about coconut and for your health and prosperity. And thank you all very much for the patient hearing. And I hope that this topic will have a lot of interest among all the people in the country, especially when we are facing COVID. And this photograph has come out very beautifully from the Coconut Development Board. I thought this will be appropriate to present at the end of the lecture. Thank you very much for the patient hearing. I thank again Dr. Patil for giving me this opportunity. And I hope I have completed within the time limit at the time allotted to me.
Yes,
I
sir.
look for discussion on this topic and whatever. When the review is ready, I think I will be able to share with all of you. The review is getting ready because it is a 50 to 60 years work. And of course, I am a retired person, but Dr. Prabhu is extremely busy with his own work. But he has been doing some of these slides also were made by him. And I am very happy to inform you that we are invited, both of us are invited by an organization in Bethesda in USA to give a lecture. So 50-50 we have to share on 2nd May 2021. And they are very keen to know about coconut and coconut products and health benefits. So that lecture will be delivered by both of us on this topic. And thank you very much, Dr. Patil. I profusely thank you and all the members of the Society for Agricultural Engineers, and all those who have attended, my past colleagues and the present colleagues, and so many others may be there. I don't know how many have been attending this or attending this. And thank you very much. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much for excellent talk. Very good.
Thank you. Dr. Patil,
Yes, sir.
should we start a few questions or take
Yes, sir.
up,
Sure. It is your this thing now.
I will raise my question and then you can take up the others who are raising. And then I will give my comments at the end. Dr. You have said, and as you have presented, coconut is a
Please unshare your presentation.
Dr. Rajagopal,
please
I
tell
think
me.
you can stop screen sharing now.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Just
so that it will be very clear for all of us. Yeah. More space on the screen.
you share.
Unshare. Stop sharing.
Stop sharing. Yeah. Stop video, stop share, new share.
That green button you have to press.
Yeah, correct.
Yes, that's right. Very good.
Thank you. So nice to learn.
Yeah.
Thank you for your excellent and very informative lecture. And it looked to me that coconut has a remedy for all the disease, almost all the diseases. And it is such a wonderful information. But my only question is, if it is so, whether the coconut has been approved by any medical association or food and nutrition agency like say NIN or some others, that these benefits are really present in the coconut different products. Because finally the question comes, who has approved? This is all research. See, you and we all are agricultural scientists from different disciplines. So our recommendation, who will accept? That question will come. Many people raise, say you have said, that was surprise to me. You said that coconut oil is a unsaturated fat, whereas people had so far believed as it's a saturated fat. But you say that it is something like middle chain, which I can't fully understand, but there is some ambiguity still on that. has our any government body accepted it as a unsaturated fat? Now, there are some very big questions. My doubts in several diseases like Parkinson, Alzheimer, COVID. Has anybody really taken note of all this? All this treatment is because I have seen several such presentations that nowadays, for example, we in India see in many products, immunity is increased by everything, which is not really a correct picture which we see in TV ads. My question is only this much, that whether any of those things which you have said, has any state or the country agencies, authorized agencies, have really accepted these recommendations which have come out of lot of research on various issues. Thank you.
May I reply, please?
Pardon?
Okay. Dr. Patil, I can reply, isn't it?
Yeah.
You raise a valid point, Dr. Saab. And I do agree that the medical profession completely, they do not accept some of these things. There is still a lot of controversies and controversial statements. But I am told that some of the experts, even the medical experts, they do consider the importance of this. And recently I am told that Ayush is considering this because Ayush and Ayurvedic medicines and other things, they are coming out with some of these products being accepted in different components, constituents. And as you said that how many medical professionals, particularly this controversy about the coconut oil and all that, that is there for the last several years. And some of the senior experts who are promoting this, accepting the benefits of coconut, like Dr. Hegde, as you know, the former vice chancellor of the Manipal University and a cardiologist himself, a well-known person. And also nutritionists like not only in India, even in other places like Mary Enig and others, have approved it and have suggested that this has to be accepted by the medical profession and some of the things. But to what extent the government has looked into it, or the Ayush is spending time more on these aspects is yet to be seen. But as far as the Ayurvedic profession is concerned, and the relationship between the allopathic and Ayurvedic medicines is concerned, I am told that they are looking into it, and some of the nutraceutical companies, pharmaceutical companies are taking up this to work on more on this. This is the information I got. Maybe I need to collect more information on this. Thank you so much.
Now, Professor Gajendra Singh has a comment. Professor Gajendra Singh, please.
Thank you, Dr. Rajgopal. You mentioned about the products export. I'm in New York, and I find, as you mentioned, most of the coconut products are from Thailand. And what efforts are being made to promote, because we are much bigger producer of coconut than Thailand. Thailand is very small country compared to India. But their water, coconut water, and many other products are so popular. Even the fresh coconut water is being exported here. So what efforts are being made to promote exports? Is the coconut board doing something about it?
Exactly, sir. I appreciate your question, because this is what I also used to think, because I'm here for the last 4 or 5 years, quite often come and go back to India. And this is the same question I ask some of them, because some of the products are, very limited products are from India. And when I interacted with some of my colleagues in India and also here, 2 important points that has occurred to me, or rather that I got the information is, one is in India, of course, we produce a lot of them. And we also have we use them for many of our purposes, culinary purpose and so many other things. And our production is good, as you rightly said. But our consumption also, as far as the recipes are concerned and all, is pretty high. So the demand is more for that. And not much of attempt has been made by Cochrane Development Board or others to export these products. I agree with you, but I'm trying to see that how far Cochrane Development Board can promote this export of some of the Cochrane products. But compared to 2009 and 10 when I came here and now, I do find that some of the products from India are also coming up in our products, in our markets like Costco, Target, and some of the markets. But I agree with you that that has to be taken up at the higher level, like the Cochrane Development Board and then some of the institutes with other industries, how far they can promote the export of Cochrane products from India to the other countries like USA, Canada, and all that. There's a very great demand now that until 10, 15 years back, the number of products were less. But now in many of the markets, the number of Cochrane products are increasing day by day. And your question is very valid. I hope that somebody who is from Cochrane Development Board today, if they are attending, or maybe we can address this. This I raised it even 4 or 5 years back, Dr. Gajendra Singh.
Maybe you should suggest to them to work with the Patel brothers. They have a now chain, and there is a significant population of Indians now in US. And with Patel brothers having a big chain, maybe
Yeah.
they.
Really big grocery store.
Actually, I raised this with one of our leading experts in the World Bank, Dr. Ramesh Deshpande. I wanted information to get how many of our products, Indian products, are in these markets like Patel Brothers and others, and Deep and so many other things are coming. But it's becoming difficult because as an individual alone, I cannot do it unless there is a project and all that. But we have to work out. I agree with you. We have to work out and see how many products from India, from Indian these ones, can be exported for these international markets. It's a very genuine question. Genuinely. Thank you so much.
Okay, sir. In this group, I see Dr. Mahende, Dr. Indramani, and Dr. Khanna. I request them to.
And I also, this is Jitendra Srivastava. Sometime I would like to say a word.
Okay, okay. You are having question, sir?
Well, first of all, I thank the whole organizers. This is the first time I saw it. And also it brought my Pantnagar days. Some of the people mentioned they were there. I'm very grateful to some of the names I had heard but had not seen. And also I'm very thankful to Dr. Rajagopal ji, whom we know here very well. And he made a very good benefits of both nutrition and health. But my only suggestion is, for many years from the World Bank, I promoted medicinal plant globally and in India. And I was also on NIH in the board to look at the alternate medicines. My concern with India is Patanjali and Sri Sri and all those are promoting, but the scientifically in the medical science, the benefits that we mentioned are not being taken. And this is one of the major problem I had with India, because the medical group was not interested. We may keep on talking about Ayurveda and all that, which the scientists do. But in spite of my meeting, I attended a number of meetings. I had proposed, even a number of countries took the medicinal plants and these kind of things to promote, but I was not successful in India. I wish this group does see, and I agree that potential is enormous, but only the scientists and researchers saying is not acceptable to the consumers. They don't believe it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There is a conflict between the allopathy doctor and Ayurvedic in this country. Yeah, and that is also another problem. Our own traditional knowledge we don't want to promote.
Now, I would slightly disagree that I would say, sir, and to all of you, let's not go on the negative path. Let's go on the positive path. If we have these values for cancer and so forth, as Dr. Rajagopal had said so well, it should get the attention of somebody doing it, even applying, even in the US, those who are from here, where FDA, Food and Drug Administration, and prove these things, that will really change. It will not happen by just talking ourselves, but it is really needed. Something should be done. Thank you for listening.
Okay. Thank you. Dr. Indramani, please.
Sir, thank you very much. I really, from core of my heart, I thank Dr. Patil for initiating this activity. And from ISA side, when I got your first message, sir, I said that we are all for it, and we will, facilitate this lecture. Unfortunately, I could not attend earlier lectures because, and I could attend today because it was second Saturday. So I will request that if it is on second Saturday, I will definitely attend it, because for working people, it becomes, we have 5 days, a 6-day week. So it becomes difficult. I was so much tempted that I was just waiting for 6 o'clock that, and I should attend today's lecture. And I congratulate and thank Professor Bengali Babu and Professor Jaswant Singh Ji for chairing and co-chairing this, session. And Raj Gopal Sahab, it was very interesting, and whatever, points you have, all this information which you have given, is of immense value. And discussion which is going on, that medical fraternity should accept it, and they should be, adopted by, because some recommendation is necessary for any food item, those aspects are necessary. And this coconut board and ISA will also try to soldier, that if something in this regard, because we are in Delhi with Ayush Mantralaya and others, if something is, some responsibility is given, we can interact here also. And we always, this in COVID time, this has become very important, and we are building on our Ayurvedic system. And whole day I had 2-3 round discussion on this, because nowadays, a lot of vaccination, etc. is going on. I was getting call, was it Covishield or Covaxin? Then somebody said, go for Ayurvedic system. And, so these all discussion are going on. So it was very timely also that getting, in discussion on such aspects. So we will be participating in these activities and getting, enriched with knowledge, and in future also. And I will request that if the second Saturday will be really very good for us, and then we can invite our other members also, youngsters who can see their seniors, because it should not limited to retired people. It should be, so others can join, and they can meet their seniors. I was just I don't know, I was just after seeing Rajgopalji, I just recollected Professor Yaman Mehta, somehow some similarity was. Professor's face was just same like this. So this young people will also get opportunity to meet their seniors and listen to them and their thought and their talk. So if our current Secretary General Dr. Manoj Khanna is also here, and thank you for joining. And we will disseminate this message so that other people can also join in future program, future talk, and they should get benefit.
In fact, we send it to many WhatsApp groups. We share it.
Yeah, it is very necessary that youngsters should get connected with the seniors.
Right.
This is another responsibility as a president of ISA. I would like to request you that the youngsters need a lot of education from you people. So that is there. We will try to ask them to join and get benefited with this. And on certain extent, we should not talk. Some lectures should be not on science, just moral boost up and how to go about it, how to do science. Professor Gajen Singh and others should be requested to give, those moral boosting lecture and career planning and all those things, so that what we find that youngsters are a little bit confused. So the senior's job is to throw light and for them, and so that they can have better
Amarji, please
better
mute
life.
your phone.
It is very good suggestion, Patil Sahab.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for better life, better career, and better. This was mentioned in the beginning by Rajgopalaji that Charak and Charak Sangita and all. And I was listening today Hegde Sahab's one very important video, and in that he said that for health, he mentioned that health is all about environment, in which environment you are. And health, he said that two things he just defined. One, that if you are willing, that you are willing to go for work today and you are compassionate today, then you are healthy. So that's two definitions he gave. And the mention was made by Rajgopalaji about Dr. Hegde. So those things are which we should teach to our youngsters also, that willing to work and feeling compassionate is sign of good health. And such lectures and such things we can organize by the seniors, then it will be very nice. Once again, I thank you all, and Patil Sahab for giving me opportunity to share my view. And thank you all for joining, and we will together make this a more useful and a very good platform in future. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Dr. Mayande, please. Unmute your.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Patil. Thank you, Dr. Bengali Babu, Dr. Jaswant Singh, Dr. Gajendra Singh, Indramani. I am glad that I was able to join and listen to Dr. Rajgopal. Wonderful information on coconut. I have seen a lot of scientific references given by Dr. Rajgopal in his presentation, and it looks that there is a good number of research articles and research is going on. But as Dr. Bengali Babu earlier mentioned, that its nutraceutical and medicinal values are not recognized by competent authorities which are supposed to promote it actually. So that's in my mind, that why it is not so, whether the efforts from our side are less than what it should be done, or are there still some issues that needs to be resolved. I think continuous research and promotion of this product is required at the moment. Secondly, in India, I think it's part of our kitchen. Coconut is part of our kitchen. Without coconut, probably we can't have any food. So coconut is part of our kitchen. Coconut water is very commonly, raw coconut oil water is very commonly taken by the people all season. So consumption of coconut is pretty well in India. Export potential, I don't know how much it is, but we still have to really look forward, because we have a lot of volume of coconut, the export potential to be explored. But virgin coconut oil and nira from the coconut, I think these are the products which are not very commonly available. I think the qualities of nira, coconut nira, are I think one of the best probably, and we have not really. Nira from the other toddy is very popular, but nira from coconut is not popular. I think this product can be popularized. I think it can be tetra packed and forwarded into the market. This could become a popular. Secondly, virgin coconut oil is not very commonly available. Food grade coconut oil is not commonly available. What we have in the market is the hair oil, coconut hair oil blended with different products processed. So I think these are some of my observations and comments. So thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to say a few words. Thank you.
So now, anybody, Dr. Khanna, you want to say something? Yeah. Yes. Go ahead.
Can you give me one suggestion I have?
No, Dr. Khanna is saying something. Then it will come back to you as chairman and co-chairman, Dr.
Okay.
Your mic, unmute your mic. We cannot hear you.
Am I audible now?
Yeah.
Sir,
Yes.
Dr. Patil, am I
Yes,
audible?
Manoj, you are audible.
You are audible now, Dr. Khanna.
Good evening, everybody, respected seniors. Sorry, I could not join in the beginning because of some reason. I am outside the house and I started on mobile only. But I listened after coming back to home. I was able to listen all the presentation. My special thanks to Professor Rajagopal for sparing his time, Dr. Patil for organizing this thing. Thanks to Chairman Dr. Bengali Babu, Dr. Jaswant Singh, Professor Gajen Singh for sparing their time and attending this. We at ISI, ISAE at trying to invite many people to speak on various subjects. As Professor Indramani also said, we would like many people to talk, not even on subject or maybe some other subjects also, or a common motivational subjects also. I am recording all this and I am putting all these lectures on ISA website. So you will be able to see in future also at ISA website. One of the requests I would like to make all the members, and please convey this to all your friends who are agriculture engineer and part of our ISAE. ISAE is going to conduct their election of Executive Council year 21-24 very soon. We are in the process of updating the records of all our senior members, their email and mobile number. Because the election will be held online, I request everybody to open the ISA website, go to your membership area and update your password, update your email or mobile number. If you are not able to do it, please send your email and mobile number to our WhatsApp group, to our email, whomsoever you are able to send it, so that we will be able to update all these members. Many members whose names are there, but their mobile number or emails are not updated, please update. This is my humble request, so that we will be able to conduct election in a full participant, transparent manner and full participated mode. That's my request. Thank you. Thank you for giving me opportunity, Dr. Patil. And once again, thank you to all members, speaker, chairman, co-chairman. Thank you. That's more from my side.
Thank you very much. With the permission of the chair, I would like to also comment, because along with Dr. Jaswant Singh and Dr. Bengali Babu and Dr. Rajagopal, I also started my career at CPCRI Kasaragod as scientist. And in my observation as a process engineer, I feel that since we have a large population, whatever we produced in this country, it is not more than sufficient for us. So it is mostly consumed in India. And that is why when we compare for export to the smaller countries, that is not a fair comparison. Because in most of these countries where they produce and export, they do not consume it. Maybe their consumption is 1, and whereas they produce 3 times. And that is why they are forced to process it and then export it. We do not have that kind of situation. But fortunately for us, we are producing such a wonderful crops, such a wonderful, the medicinal plants. And then it has become part of our kitchen from morning to evening, as well as in our traditional therapies, it is being used. Now, fortunately, in this government, we have the Department of Ayush, which takes care of Ayurveda and as well as Unani. So they will give due importance to these aspects. Otherwise, in the traditional, when only allopathy was ruling this, the medicine or the healthcare aspect, then that time it was very difficult really to penetrate into that one and tell them that use Ayurveda. Because I want to share one of my experience, that when I went to orthopedics once, because I had something, then he said that, are you taking Ayurvedic medicine also? I said, yes, Ramdev Baba's medicine I am taking to start with. He said, you stop it. It doesn't have any basis of research. It may have the heavy metals, it may have this, it may have that, and it may create problem with your kidneys and things like that. And he scared me so much that whatever I had brought, I did not consume it fully. But whereas in the period of this pandemic, I have experience of my friend, which Dr. Rajagopal was telling, I shared with another Nutrition Society of India as a webinar. I would like to share it here. That friend of mine, he is a frequent traveler from Mumbai to Delhi. During this 11 months, he took some 30 or 35 flights. And in his house, his mother was COVID patient. He cared for her in the hospital for 1 month. his whole family was COVID. Whereas he did not get the COVID because he said right from the childhood, he had a habit of putting coconut oil in his nostrils. And he used to put it 3 or 4 times in a day, and that kept him away from COVID. And this is what is there. The experiences tell the people that it is there. And now the scientists have to evaluate it in terms of their clinical trials and things like that. And definitely with this department of Ayush, where equal importance is being given to the Unani and also to homeopathy and also to Ayurveda, you will find that our traditional knowledge is being put for medicinal use for the common man. With these few words, I have also taken the opportunity to interact with you people. I thank all those who are attending it and the chair and co-chair, and I pass on the mantle to the chairman and co-chairman of the session to conclude and guide the session. Thank you very much.
I have got one suggestion to make, Chairman Sahab, bolu main?
Thank you. Yeah, Dr. Jaswant Singh, before I conclude, you have the time now.
Yeah.
Just one, I think that can be used as a food supplement also. And many times such questions are being asked whether clinical certification is there or not. For that, I request the group can write to the ICAR and ICMR should work together to come out for the certification. They should conduct the research and clear-cut certification should be there, clearance from ICMR should be there for all the edible products, nutraceuticals, etc., etc. This is all my suggestion. And then it can be taken as a food supplement also. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Jaswant Singh. डॉक्टर साहब गजेंद्र सिंह साहब नमस्कार। मैं आपको पहले आप नहीं थे तो मैं आपसे नहीं आपको एड्रेस कर पाया। थैंक यू वेरी मच एंड वी आर रियली हैप्पी टू सी यू हियर। डॉक्टर इंद्रमणि, डॉक्टर वेंकट, आई हैव ऑलरेडी addressed. I do not recollect some of the faces, so kindly excuse me. Now I would like to conclude this with one or two remarks, and this is mostly directed towards the moderator, Dr. R.T. Patil. These are suggestions. First of all, Dr. Rajagopal's lecture was so exhaustive and very, very informative. It contained all information as far as research part is concerned. Lot of hope has been shown for the future use or the promotion of this particular, but to realize it, a lot of exercise has to be done. That is what, but that is not only your responsibility. As a group, all of us are responsible to promote that. Secondly, for the group, I have one or two suggestions. Nowadays, what we are observing, excessive refining of oils. I'm just with the group, particularly food processing and technology. I have serious questions on that. Dal polishing and pearling. Dal polishing and rice polishing and pearling. Cholesterol-free ghee. Then pungency-free mustard oil. Sugar-free rice, etc. And all these have been reported not to be good for the health. Now question is, when all these are reported and not required, then we as a group of processing scientists need to have a look into all these aspects. Why this only for commercial angle, this much money and things are being done which are not required that much. I don't say that don't process, but to a limit, not excessive. Say triple refined or triple refined sugar, my goodness, what all that is happening. So as a group, as an intellectual group of citizens, our responsibility should be to really create an awareness that how we can control and check and bring all these other aspects together. Otherwise, nowadays, as I said, you see the TV, everything is now increasing immunity. Has any scientist really proved that all that what they are saying, they are developing immunity? Nothing. There is no scientific study or medical claim, but ads are coming. That is all commercial, not scientists. So these issues, as an intellectual or responsible citizen, we need to look into And how we can raise, I don't have a ready-made solution, but we need to look into this in particular aspect. Maybe that one or two persons who are expert on this, how to take up all these issues, one lecture could be organized by someone who are expert. I'm not, but this is only my suggestion. And with this, I hand over to Dr. Patil. From my side, the session is now concluded or the complete. So hand over
Any
to
other
Dr.
discussion or any other exchange of views has to be done? Anybody want to say? Or otherwise we will conclude. Dr. Rajagopal ji.
Thank you. Just before you say vote of thanks to others, I'm very happy to join in this very exciting program. And it's very, very interesting that many of the seniors have participated in this and expressed their concern about the coconut and health. But I would like to mention one or two points which came to my mind while discussing with others. That all these intellectual programs and all that we discuss, a lot of research and a lot of other things are there. But our component of taking science to people, that is through media, they say, well, even this lecture or some of the highlights of this coconut being health and all that, we do not have that much of media coverage for some of these things.
Yeah.
Because media coverage is much less for because in one of my publications on presentations on scientific, the journalism, science journalism, I have mentioned that our scientific coverage in the media is only 2 to 3%, not more than 5%, whereas all other things take much of time. So this is one of the reasons why we are not able to convince even our own professions or the other professions. Like for instance, ICMR and ICR should come together, as just now one of our experts were mentioning very rightly, that ICMR and ICR should come together to look into some of the scientific progress made in whichever science it is. If it is from agricultural science, say for instance, biofortification and all that, some of these things are very important as far as some of these medicinal plants are concerned. Dr. Srivastava has mentioned very rightly, some of the products from the medicinal plants and aromatic plants, and some of the crops like coconut itself, and so many other things. That has to be accepted by the other organizations also, not that we are to be kept out of, we should be away from that situation. So it is a holistic approach. It's a holistic approach that is required between the ICR, ICMR, CSIR, Ayush, and whatever you have. So if that is done, that will be a healthy approach for health of the nation. And also products like coconut, not just because we are working on coconut, we are telling, but this is accepted throughout the world. You may be knowing that some of the Philippines, they take, because I have visited Philippines for 4 or 5 times, they take every day 1 or 2 spoons of coconut oil and virgin coconut oil. And they say it's very effective as far as the weight loss is concerned. So there are so many things. If it is not accepted by so many other countries, how come that we have in our list nearly 20 to 25 countries working on this? If the medical profession has not accepted it, how would they have come to that? So these are all the things that we have to do it. Perhaps Dr. Patil will consider putting the media coverage for these type of things, because always people do not know, because always only the other things come into the public domain, but not our important components like health, nutrition, and so many other scientific pursuits that the country is, carrying out with many, many disciplines of science. So with this, I would like to thank Dr. Patil and all my past colleagues, like Jaswant Singh and others, for giving me this opportunity to interact with you. It is like CPCRI coming back to the stage in the webinar. Thank you, Dr. Patil and all others. Thank you
very much. Now it is the time to propose a formal vote of thanks. Our respected speaker, Dr. Rajagopal, respected chairman, Dr. Bengali Babu, respected co-chairman, Dr. Jaswant Singh, Professor Gajendra Singh, Dr. Mayande, Dr. Indramani, Dr. Khan, Dr. Deshpande, Dr. Srivastava, Dr. Kailas Nathan, TBS Rajput, and all those, Engineer VB Singh, Lakshmi Narayana, and all friends, those who joined for this, our movement, that whatever expertise we have after plus 60, we should share with the younger population, because then only they will get the direction to go ahead and do something. I have Dr. Khan is going to say something. Please go ahead. Unmute you. Unmute you. Right.
Thank you very much, sir. It's very interesting to hear Dr. Rajagopal. And am I audible?
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah,
Very interesting to hear. See, now what we have moved is from the era of productivity increase to value addition. And in that aspect, Dr. Rajagopal touched only on the copra. The copra, that is the main product on which the problem now we face is that somebody also has rightly mentioned about the availability of virgin coconut oil. It's a new thing which is available because it is valued only for the lauric acid content, which is about 52 to 53%. And unless we follow the APCC standards or internationally standards for virgin coconut oil, we cannot export it. That is main thing. So that certification, normally we send it to the Coconut Development Board to see whether it is the entrepreneurs who produce the coconut oil, virgin coconut oil. They used to send it to the Coconut Development Board to get the certificate in tune with the APCC, that is Asia Pacific Coconut Community. So that is the one thing. As Dr. Jaswant was telling, availability of raw material, quality raw material, for example, production of quality raw material, because Dr. Rajagopal has given an array of products. They are all secondary products. The main thing will be the coconut oil, the virgin coconut oil, and the desiccated coconut. So desiccated coconut is a very big industry. India is mastered in that, and they are exporting. I have been associated with a group of farmers, in particular in Tamil Nadu, and we have mobilized around 4,000 to 5,000 farmers who will be the basic suppliers of the raw material for the virgin coconut oil industry. Because we talk so much about the copra only, but the processing of copra and the availability of the raw material for this of good quality. See, what happens is if the maturity of the kernel is not taken into consideration, what I have heard is that after some time, even the DC becomes slightly yellowish. So these are all many things which are after pre-harvest technology. All those things have to be post-harvest technology, different pre-harvest technology. These are many things. There are many entrepreneurs who are coming up now, and they are only concentrating on VCO, virgin coconut oil, which is sold around 350 to 400 rupees, depending upon the presentation style in which they are putting it in the bottles and all those things. Anyhow, Dr. Rajagopal also has touched, I was just thinking about, I was reading something about the Alzheimer disease, which he has touched, and has come several papers also, which I used to read. And regarding one thing mentioned about Dr. Patil about the coconut oil in the nostrils, something he was mentioning. I also heard that the people also got benefited by putting 1 or 2 drops of olive oil, any oil which is there, which is effective. And there are several claims. And the people are also trying to come out with nasal sprays of oil which can be used. There are so many things are there as far as COVID-19 is concerned. But one thing is that I had an occasion to sit with 1 or 2 scientists in Sri Lanka. I know one of my, Dr. Rajagopal may be knowing very well the name of the scientist, Dr. Erlinda P. Rillo, one of the very famous scientists in Philippine PCA, Philippine Coconut Authority. We were having breakfast. Before breakfast, she just excused us, and she opened the bag and took virgin coconut oil and drank 2 spoons of virgin coconut oil before breakfast. So I asked her, Madam, what is that? Then she says that it is the practice in Philippines. Even for high cholesterol level, nobody takes medicine. We control it only with this. I could not further discuss with her further. Then in one more occasion also in TNAU, when I was invited for a lunch, there was a Philippine scientist. Before lunch, after the lunch, she said that I have forgotten to take, and she also opened the bag. They are not hesitant at all to take a very beautiful bottle of virgin coconut oil and drink 2 spoons. So in South India, what I have been telling my friends is that if you are really want to use coconut oil with our daily morning breakfast preparation, idli, along with that we use some spice powder. Spice powder. I used to tell them that you mix with that 1 teaspoon of coconut oil and mix it and daily take it along with you as a breakfast in the breakfast. So there are several things, but the whole thing is valued for its lauric acid. Now, there are companies which are separating lauric acid and selling it as medium chain fatty acids simply. So I don't know that what benefit that oil will have, because the coconut oil is valued only for its lauric acid content, that is separated because of its high medicinal properties of increasing the monolaurin content in the mother's milk is equal to the monolaurin content of mother's milk. There are so many things. So as Dr. Rajagopal said, ICMR can come, but the world has gone somewhere as far as coconut byproduct research is concerned, particularly with the Philippines Coconut Authority and Indonesia and our people. And we are just trying to follow what they have done. We have not come out anything with innovatively. We have not come anything with the products except the use of copra. That is the main thing. And another thing we have not touched much is about the tender coconut water. Of course, it is now saturated.
We can take separate lecture. How?
Pardon, sir?
And somewhere the mic is on.
And another thing is that about the coconut vinegar. After all, coconut vinegar, and why we should only worry about apple cider vinegar? I am just asking. See, finally it contains only 5% acetic acid, both whether it is coconut vinegar or apple cider vinegar. That these things all to be discussed among engineers and try to remove this apprehension about apple cider vinegar, and why, in what way coconut vinegar is inferior to apple cider vinegar. I don't understand. Thank you very much.
Dr. Patil, I have one valid point. Dr. Patil.
Yes, now I can hear.
Just as a wind up for the lecture, I forgot to mention the most important point, that the collaborative project we had with the KG hospital in Coimbatore. Somebody was asking whether there is a acceptance of the scientific, some of the things with the medical profession.
With Dr. Bhaktavachanam.
We had a project for 2 years with the diabetologist and cardiologist in the KG hospital, Coimbatore, where my scientist, Dr. Shamina, worked for 2 years, collecting a lot of data on various parameters of medical importance. And she found out that the importance of coconut as far as the weight, other things are concerned, cholesterol and other things. And I'm very happy to say that this was published long back in JPC, the collaborative project between CPCRI and KG Hospital, Coimbatore, because this is for the information of those, whether all the medical profession accept our scientific, agricultural scientific findings. It is not always correct, because there are some people who are accepting that. And it all depends on how you are able to take it up. Same way, we also happen to have some collaborative project with Manipal on our this Aricanet, this one. So there are areas where we can definitely improve it. The only thing is the collaboration should be there, and media coverage should be there. I am very particular about media coverage, poor coverage of media.
Your friend Prabhu, he is a Hindu journalist, right?
Yeah, I had a lot of contacts with him. I have published a lot of things. And
the Prabhu is for that, famous for that.
No, he's not in Hindu now. He has left it. He has brought out a lot of.
When I was at Kasargod, he was in Hindu, and then a lot of information about our dryers was published by him.
Yeah, correct. You're right. Thank you.
Yeah, now if it is no more discussion, is there any other discussion? Otherwise, I will request Dr. Manoj Khanna to end the meeting.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody. Stay safe, stay blessed.